Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Poets&Quants' Undergraduate Business Admissions Panel. My name is Christy Bleizeffer, and I'll be the moderator for the session. Today, we're talking to college-bound students and parents who want to learn more about the value of an undergraduate business education. Welcome to all who are joining us online, and welcome to our admissions panelists from top business schools at Purdue University, Miami University, and University of Texas at Arlington. Viewers, please feel free to use the Q&A function to submit any questions you have for our panelists. I'll do my best to get to those at the end of the session. We'll begin by letting our panelists introduce themselves and their undergraduate business programs. Chanel, why don't you start? Introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your program, its mission values, reputation, location, all that good stuff.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, Christy. We are located here at Miami University in the Farmer School of Business in beautiful Oxford, Ohio. It is the quintessential college town, so exactly what you picture when you think of college. We are deeply committed to the undergraduate teaching experience. So not only are faculty world-renowned researchers, but they're also committed to the undergraduate experience. Our courses are all taught by faculty members. No classes in the Farmer School are taught by graduate assistants, and our faculty are really committed to undergraduate students. We offer a unique first-year integrated core that includes a client-based project from the very first year. So the moment you step foot on campus, you're engaging in real client-based experiences. You'll sign a non-disclosure agreement and get to work with client data. So it's an incredibly unique first-year integrated core where you'll learn essential business skills. So we're the first choice for tomorrow's leaders, and we start that right from day one.
Very good. Thank you. Do you mind telling us, your full name and title?
Absolutely. I apologize. My name is Chanel White. I'm the Assistant Dean and Director of Divisional Advising here in the Farmer School, and I absolutely love working with prospective students and families.
Very good. Thank you so much. AJ, how about you?
Yeah, hi. My name is AJ Frigo. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Recruitment for the Krannert School of Management. And I've been working in this role for actually just over a year. And prior to that, I worked in undergraduate admissions for 6 years. So I have a really unique perspective when I'm talking with students about what we do and what we can offer. And I also have a huge love for Purdue University as a whole. So we're a public university, a land-grant university in West Lafayette, Indiana. We have about 50,000 total students. One of the unique things about our 11 colleges and schools is that our Krannert School of Management is actually one of the smaller ones. So we have about 3,000 total undergraduate students. So you get that large university with incredible reputation, but a really small school feel within that. So with all that being said, we have a STEM-based approach. All of our degrees are Bachelor of Science degrees. We have some really unique and exciting programs in business analytics and information management, supply chain, and integrated business and engineering is one of our newest programs that we're really hanging our hats on. And students are really, really interested. We've broken enrollment records the last, I think, 10 years in a row. And this previous year, our Krannert School of Management has jumped 33%. So it's a really exciting time for us with a couple of really cool announcements coming down the pipeline.
Oh, well, we'll be watching for those. Fernando, how about you?
Thank you, Christy. This is Fernando Jaramino. I am a marketing professor, and I'm also an associate dean for students at programs, College of Business, University of Texas at Arlington. So, for those of you who don't know the Arlington area, so Arlington is a city, 400,000 people, but it's in the middle of the Metroplex, surrounded by Dallas and Fort Worth. So one of the largest metropolitan centers in the US. The College of Business has around 4,600 students. So we have 11 majors, ranging from accounting, data analytics, real estate, taxation, marketing, you name it. And most of our students earn 2 majors. So our most popular ones are finance with accounting, marketing and management, so they can combine and tailor their degrees to meet their particular needs. In the university, we also have, in the College of Business, we have several certificates. We are one of the most diverse universities in the country, so we typically rank as number 1 or number 2 in terms of diversity. We also rank as one of the top schools in terms of student debt, not on the higher end, but actually on the lower end. that is very important for some of our viewers. In terms of diversity, we are unique in the sense that we offer a specific certificate on diversity. And that also makes our students very attractive. And since we are talking, this is hosted by Poets and Quants, so within the College of Business, some of our students will lean towards the quant side with STEM designated degrees. So for example, we are the only school in the state of Texas that offers a STEM degree in economics at the undergrad level. Also target many of the poets, the ones that want to learn more of the softer skills. So we have a menu that that hopefully satisfies a large population of students that we serve.
Well, obviously, we love that explanation at Poets and Quants. Thank you for that. AJ, we'll go back to you for the next one. Tell us why you think students should explore pursuing undergraduate business. What is the true value of a business education?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think there could be a million different answers to it and they'd all be valuable. From the Purdue approach, I think we like to think that business is universal, right? So having that skill set is going to be valuable no matter what you're doing. I think the really unique opportunity is that we are helping students prepare for careers across everything that they're doing. And so that business education, especially at Purdue with that STEM-based mindset, students are preparing for laws and for degrees in pre-med. They're looking at pre-law. They're looking at going and doing things that aren't even out yet, right? So our curriculum, especially with analytics, we're finding 65% of our students have a concentration in data analytics. They're preparing themselves for careers that may not even exist just yet. And so I think the core foundation of that is just the business aptitude to understand everybody in the room, to understand what's going on, and hopefully in the future sense, use data to inform business decisions. So I can't speak enough to the value of a business degree. And I think definitely one reason to consider it is that you're going to be valuable no matter which field you pursue.
Absolutely. Fernando.
So as AJ say, I agree with him, a business degree is extremely valuable. To add on his comments, a business degree prepares you to solve business problems. Okay? Whether you are an entrepreneur or whether you want to pursue a career in corporate America, it just makes you a better professional. There are some skills that you will acquire that allow you to be more effective and more efficient. So most business programs will emphasize communication skills, for example. And those are extremely valuable when you are interacting with customers and persuading them to purchase your products. Mm-hmm. We, in business programs, we emphasize critical thinking. So how do you take these data sets and how do you use these numbers to solve business problems? The business knowledge, the knowledge component will vary, of course, by the type of specialization that you want to follow. So for accountants, of course, you want to be familiar with tax law, to help people that are presenting, their tax forms every year. With people in finance, they're going to learn skills about how to deal with the stock market, okay? or real estate will emphasize business development. So there is an array of skills that that students will develop when they pursue a business career that allows them to grow personally and professionally. And for those who are also extrinsically motivated, most business careers are also financially rewarded. So, business students usually make a good pay.
Yeah, and that is important. Chanel, what do you think the value is?
Well, certainly the hard and soft skills that my colleagues have mentioned here, but I think also really we're teaching students to operate within environmental drivers like globalization and diversity. So they're thinking about how to apply those skills in different contexts and how to work in a very global society. So you're going to get those skills with an undergraduate business degree.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fernando, back to you for the next question. How has the undergraduate program at your school evolved in recent years to stay on top of the big trends in data analytics, like AJ's mentioned, and digitization? What are the skill sets your program emphasizes to respond to an evolving global business landscape?
Yeah, so, decision making is becoming more complex.
Mm-hmm.
Most decisions nowadays involve numbers and data. So in the College of Business 2 years ago, we created a degree, an undergrad degree in business analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And this degree we emphasize things like learning of a programming language, Python. And then students will learn several tools, like, for example, what do you do with web pages? How you scrap data and find what your customers want. And all of these provide valuable skills when they are hired by a company or they start a company and use these skills to grow on their customer base. So we are incorporating many of these things in the curriculum. So as I said before, we have 11 concentrations.
Yeah.
And all of them will have one or more courses where these data analytics components are embedded. But I want to also emphasize, the analogy was making with poets and quants. Numbers tell you a story, but also, the other side of your brain, the qualitative interviews with individuals, the learning of verbal and nonverbal cues. Those soft skills are also very important, and we stress also that in our, in all of our programs. For example, communication skills is something that we emphasize, regardless of whether you pursue a bachelor in business analytics or a bachelor in marketing, because at the end of the game, it's about persuading customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Chanel, same question. What's happening at Miami Farmer in terms of, these more analytical and digitization trends?
Well, just tonight, actually, we're hosting our cybersecurity initiative where we have a forum of industry professionals, faculty, and students gathered together to talk about best practices, unique cybersecurity programs, considerations in the field. So I didn't plan that, but as a coincidence here, we're hosting that event in the Farmer School and have many of our students gathered here in our auditorium to talk about those critical issues. So certainly we're seeing a lot of growth in our data analytics program as well. And every single Farmer School of Business student will take a coding course in the first year as a part of the computational thinking course that's included in the first year integrated core. So not only are they going to get a client-based experience in that very first year, but they're going to get some hands-on experience using and manipulating client data and gaining some coding skills in the process.
Yeah, very good. AJ?
Yeah, it's a really unique and interesting thing with the new data analytics buzz, and it's definitely an important trend for all students to have some kind of understanding of. The really unique thing about Craner is we actually had our first data mining course offered in 2000. So we've been doing this for a long time. Our first certificate in business analytics was in 2007. And then in 2016, we unveiled our master's in business analytics, which before not even a year or two was already ranked the #1 program in the country for business analytics. I'm telling all my students that I talk with that have some kind of interest in data to really be considering that program. We had a master's student who, fairly young, just finished his master's in business analytics and was offered a job for $244,000 a year starting salary. I mean, those are kind of stories that are going to get students interested and excited if they haven't had exposure to those things early on. And so definitely consider that data science track. As a result of our master's success, the corporate partners that we have said, Cranert, you have to make an undergraduate major. So last year was our first year with a new undergraduate degree in business analytics and information management, and we've seen record-breaking applications on that. But the really unique thing is we're able to pair with Purdue University's resources, having one of the top 50 computer science programs in the country, a top 5 engineering school in the country, #1 in the country as of the last couple of years in cybersecurity. Our students partner with them and work in a collaborative environment for all things. So it's a really unique perspective students get. So I think we've been doing really well at staying on top of those trends, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. Chanel, when you're assessing applicants at Miami Farmer, you're of course looking for the academics and the test scores. What else are you looking for to gauge the fit of, with the personality and the culture at Miami Farmer?
Well, our students are incredibly involved. They are really talented and dedicated leaders. So we're really looking for students who have that very well-rounded experience in high school. So students who were involved in their high schools. This could include sports, extracurricular experiences, leadership experiences, part-time jobs, etc. We're really looking holistically at the entire applicant profile, and we do look at all components. So it is a holistic review process, not just test scores. We are, of course, looking for students with strong academic credentials, which may include honors, AP, dual enrollment courses, etc. But we know that students are going to come to Miami and dive deeply into their experience and engage and become leaders on our campus. And so we're looking for students who are ready to do that and to really fully engage in the experience that we have to offer here. So with those incredible leadership opportunities, we want students who are going to kind of hit the ground running and engage in those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. AJ, what about at your school?
Yeah, it's really hard just to not say ditto, right? Everything Chanel said was really, really exciting and really, really true. That holistic review process does play a role in everything that we do as well. But we are a large public land-grant institution, and so many students that are applying to us are applying to many other Big Ten schools or even schools like Farmer. So there's some great students applying kind of all over the country. So with that being said, I mean, we're going to be looking at those same things, that same holistic review process. I think a unique thing about Cranert is we are very interested in math success. So we do definitely take a look into that, because every single student is going to take at least Calculus 1 in our program to make it that Bachelor of Science degree. Many take Calculus 2, and one program even takes theoretical Calculus 1, 2, and 3 with calc-based physics and calc-based chemistry. So as a result, we have to make sure that the math is up to par, and we're looking for pre-calc and hopefully calculus in the high school, good math grades. And then Purdue loves the word grit. So we do love to see that determination in students that are focused and students that want to be here, students that want to be involved in the campus, and students that want to take advantage of the literally thousands of opportunities that Purdue can provide them. So yeah, exactly everything Chanel had said, and then just those few additional pieces.
Yeah, and what about you, Fernando? Are you guys kind of in the same boat there?
Yeah, so similar criteria, however, we are mostly in the business of transforming lives through knowledge. Mm-hmm. So we are focused on social mobility, and we are a large public institution. We typically, take students who are on the 50th percentile and above with direct admissions. Overall, we admit about 70% of the applicants. And, we face the challenges of a very diverse pool of applicants. But we excel on taking them at, the level where they started, and then, teach them skills and, and focus on success and on learning. And once they graduate, they can compete with any other students from any school. So, for example, on average, UTA students have higher starting salaries than any of the other schools from the UT system. Mm-hmm. So they do very well.
Yeah. Well, thanks. AJ, back to you. what do you think sets Cranard apart from other programs?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really, we've touched on a lot of it, right, with things that we do well in analytics and the STEM-based approach. But I think Purdue also just has that reputation as one of the few brands that matter. We're the only university that was ranked by Fast Magazine as far as brands that matter, which is really unique. So students, you wear a Boiler t-shirt to the airport and you will get yelled at. Absolutely, go Boiler up, right? It's going to be a really exciting thing. From our new innovative curriculum, our new programs, our constant evolving programs, which is also really exciting. And then Purdue's frozen tuition. And that's something that doesn't get highlighted enough, I think. 11 consecutive years, we have not moved our tuition dollars, in-state, out-of-state, international. It has not moved. And so it's a really unique thing when the average school is increasing their tuition anywhere from 2 to 5% every year. So the value of our degree is really exciting. The content you're going to be getting, the fully qualified PhD faculty, the R1 Research Foundation that we are, research institution that we are, our integrated business and engineering program is unlike any other in the country, unique cohort, really exciting. And again, you get all that at the powerhouse of Purdue University, in a school with about 3,000 undergraduate students. So it'd be hard to pinpoint just one additional thing that makes us more unique or more exciting. But there's really not, there's many. And I think the final thing I'll leave with, 80% of our students are graduating in 4 years or less. So that's a huge thing. Our average time to degree completion is under 4 years at this point in time. So you're saving money on the tuition fees, you're saving money on your timeline of getting out of here, and you're making on average $62,000 a year with about a $7,000 hiring bonus with 99% successful job placement rating. So it's a really, really exciting time to be considering Purdue and Cranard School of Management.
Yeah, that has got to be music to a lot of ears out there for our listeners right now. Fernando, what about at University of Texas, Arlington? What sets it apart?
So the population of students that we serve, is above average on age. Most of our students have some experience when they come to UTA on the job, and when we talk to employers, they say, oh, they have that grit. They have this hunger of of learning and moving up. They're not shy on trying new things. So back to what sets us apart, it's a combination of things. It is that diversity of the student pool. We are also an R1 institution, and many of our programs are highly ranked. So for example, our entrepreneurship program has an endowment, which I think is one of the largest in the US, where students get to develop a project and become entrepreneurs, and the university funds those projects. We give them money so that they implement that business idea. Also, being in one of the fastest growing metropolitan areas in the country has its advantages. There are several Fortune 500 companies working with us. And we have very active boards in all of our programs that provide internship opportunities, active learning opportunities for those students. Back to location, Texas is the largest exporter in the US. We have a very active international business program with an active study abroad program, where we partner with linguistics, and with linguistics, our students can learn Mandarin, French, German, Russian, Spanish, among many other languages, and apply these if they want to go abroad for export and import type of initiatives. So, there are many things that set us apart, and we accomplish these with the student population that I was talking about, with admission rates in around 70%. So, actually on that business of transforming individual lives through knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chanel, what about at Miami Farmer?
Well, as AJ said earlier, I could certainly say ditto to what has been shared. I've talked a lot about our first year integrated core and our deep commitment to undergraduate teaching. So this time I'll share a little bit about our student experience. Miami University and the Farmer School have an incredible undergraduate experience. And so we send about 65% of our students on study abroad programs, where the national average is about 16%. Our curriculum is really flexible. And so students are often able to fit a major and a second major or a minor outside the School of Business, even with over 100 other programs at the university that they can choose to couple with their Farmer School of Business outstanding Bachelor of Science in Business. So those are really fantastic student experiences are really what sets the Farmer School apart, in addition to our FYIC and our deep commitment to undergraduate teaching.
Yeah, thank you. Fernando, back to you. A little bit about the admissions process. Is it direct admit into your business college, or do you apply to the university and then have to apply to the business program?
If you are admitted to the university and you want to pursue a business degree, you are automatically admitted to the College of Business. And for the state schools in Texas, it's applytexas.org, and they would get their application, and they will select the school where they want to go. If they meet the criteria, then they would be admitted to the College of Business, and that roughly involves 2/3 of our student population. We also admit students that come from community colleges. So many individuals pursue first the first 2 years in a community college that may be closer to home or is less expensive. Then we would transfer those grades earned at a community college, and then they would get into the College of Business at UTA.
Perfect. And Chanel.
So students who apply to Miami University will apply via the common application. As long as they select their top school or top major as a business major, they'll be considered for direct admission to the Farmer School. So most of our students are directly admitted. And as I mentioned before, it is a holistic review process. So we do have an application fee waiver for students who apply by November 1st. So we encourage those early applications. And if you select any business major, you can change your mind later and switch from one business major to another. As long as you've selected that, you will be considered for direct admission. If you're not directly admitted, you can come to Miami and then transfer into the School of Business after 1 year. But we would encourage all applicants to go ahead and apply for business, since we do have a selective admission program.
Very good. And AJ.
Yeah, Purdue University is a direct admission program for all of our degrees. So yeah, Craner School Management, if you apply to that, and we are in the Common App as well. If you apply, you are directly admitted into the Craner School of Management.
Perfect. And Chanel, right back to you. What advice do you have for parents in how to balance supporting their student in the process and letting the student guide the process?
That's a great question. I have a lot of empathy for families going through this process right now. I know how daunting it can be. My advice would be to explore lots of schools. Keep your options open. Check out great rankings like Poets&Quants, and visit campus. It can be a great way to connect with the campus and see if this is a place that you can see yourself calling home for the next 4 years. So that's a little bit more advice for the students, whereas the families are looking more for those facts and figures. So check out that early career return on investment. The Farmer School is an outstanding early career return on investment identified by Poets&Quants. So do check out all of the opportunities that the school has and see if that's going to be a good fit for your student. Certainly your student, you know them very well, and we want to see your student be successful just like you want them to be successful. So ask the tough questions about retention rates, graduation rates, who's going to teach your students' classes. Will that be taught by some PhD student, or will it be taught by a real faculty member? So ask the tough questions, but definitely keep your options open.
Oh, thank you. Great advice. And AJ, to you, do you have any advice for parents and students about, guiding the process?
Yeah, exactly what was just said is all really, really valuable and important information. I think students are overwhelmed every time I talk to them, right? When I start getting into a tangent of what Purdue University has to offer someone, we could just talk about the campus food and it would overwhelm them, right? Because there's so many options. When we start getting into the nitty gritty of changing your major, 70% of college students change their major at least once, and we start rolling into data analytics, and by your senior year, you can study abroad for a semester, all these different things, right? It's overwhelming. And so the students, I think the important thing for you all to remember is that you have the power in this relationship, right? Universities need you to survive. And so you get to absolutely work with us and see what we can do for you to help you to get here. And then for the parents' perspective, exactly what was already said. You can ask those really important questions, those tough questions about what's the average class size. My student may not be thinking about that. What's the likelihood they participate in research? What's the internship percentage? Average starting salary, really important. Average starting debt. These are all really important things that students can get overwhelmed with even remembering to talk about. So keep that in mind. My advice for students and parents is just always try to find the right fit. And it always sounds corny when an admissions person says that, but there's an academic fit, there's a social fit, and there's a financial fit. So if you make those three pieces in the forefront of what you're talking about when you're talking with admissions professionals, you're going to do the right thing for you 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Fernando, how does your advice differ for the University of Texas at Arlington for parents and students?
So the only thing I want to add, what has been said, is that you want to listen to the student. The student is the one who is going to stay at the university for 4 years and learn something that they want to learn. We can advise our children, and we can try to persuade them to pursue for X or Y career, but at the end of the game, it's their decision, and we have to be to respect that decision. They are going to be more successful when they pursue a career that is aligned with their interest, and they pursue something that they have a passion on. Mm-hmm. And as AJ was saying, sometimes they get into their first year and they were thinking that they were going to be an accountant, and they get into the first courses in accounting, and that might not be the thing that they end up graduating in. And learning is a journey and has different stages, and just because they switch their major is not the end of it's not the end of the story. There are going to be plenty of opportunities for them to pursue their dreams, and as a parent, we need to understand that and coach them, stay positive, stay involved, and listen to their opinions. They are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Fernando, we'll just stick with you for our final prepared question, and then I'll probably give it to each of you some time to talk about any upcoming, deadlines or advice on how to get a hold of you guys. But Fernando, what advice do you have for students and parents to find that right fit? What questions do they need to ask about fit and about the program or degree to select?
There are great schools with many alternatives, and a school that might work for some student might not be the best fit for another student. Mm-hmm. And they can listen to AJ, Chanel, or myself, and we will try to draw them to our school. But at the end of the game, it is their decision, and only they can find what is the best fit for them. With that being said, do some campus tours. Try to get into the classroom. Have talk to associate deans, and ask them, can my student audit a class before enrolling? And they will on their own sample the product before they buy this commitment of 4 years. And with that being said, you want to visit multiple schools, get feedback from multiple people, and then make an informed decision. And what works for one person might not work for another. So these are individual choices that you have to do the homework.
Absolutely. Chanel, what about you?
I echo those sentiments about visiting campus. I think, this is a place that you're going to call home for 4 years. So you want to feel like this is going to be a place that you're comfortable, and that you feel like you'll succeed. And we're really committed to your success. So you want an institution that's going to be on your side and that really wants to help you, not only during your time at Miami, but also in your post Miami career. We want to help propel you for success. And we have an incredible alumni network of alumni all over the country and internationally. And so that is definitely what I would think about, is what does your time look like while you're studying there? And then also, what does life after look like? So again, that early career return on investment is incredibly important for families who may be helping to pay for that education. You want to make sure that you feel like this is something that your student is really getting a good return on that investment.
AJ, any advice for fit?
Yeah, I mean, exact same sentiments that were just shared. The one thing I always start with students, though, is make sure the food is good on the campus, right? Because you're going to be eating that for 4 years straight, most likely, right? So make sure the food tastes good is like ideal. Make sure you have restaurants that you're interested in. So I always start with food. And then from there, like I said, it's that academic fit. So even if you think you may want to be an accountant now, you may change your mind. And so make sure that a school may have backup options for you, or that it's feasible to change your major, or that it won't be frowned upon, or that it won't delay your graduation. The social fit. Are there certain things that are important to you? Students from certain backgrounds or different cultures, or students from different areas, or somebody from Hawaii, right? It's really up to you on what your social fit may look like. And that includes clubs. How many clubs does the school have? How many sports does the school have? Can you go to games? Is it expensive? All these things. And then the financial fit, right? And you can't stress that enough. College is more expensive than ever. So let's look at the universities that are affordable for you. And the one thing I would say, and I think my colleagues would agree with this, ask that question before you just opt out of a school, right? Sometimes the price tag may look expensive, but it's just like buying a car. There's always going to be discounts. There's always going to be opportunities to get things, right? So ask those questions about how can this be affordable for me and how can you help me get there? And universities are trying to do that because, again, you have all the power in this relationship. So academic, social, financial fit, you'll find those things just by asking those kind of questions.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Well, while you're here, AJ, why don't you just kind of let us know where parents and students can direct more specific questions to your department, and if you have any important deadlines or announcements coming up in the admissions process, let us know those as well.
Yeah. So yeah, my name's AJ Frigo. My email address is frigoa@purdue.edu. I am more than happy as the director of undergraduate recruitment to literally talk to every single one of you that watches this. So please email me. I say my full-time job is literally just to help you get into Purdue if you decide it's right for you. So please reach out to me. I'd be happy to. I also have a team of staff members and students, current Krannert students that you can talk with. Some students say, I don't want to talk to AJ. He's paid by the university. I want to talk to somebody who's paying to go to the university. Let's get you set up with some of our 30 Krannert ambassadors. We can get involved in that way. So the most important thing, if I have any seniors right now, is November 1st is our main deadline, right? It's early action, which means it's non-binding. But if you apply early, you get your decision on January 15th at 5:00 p.m. You'll know your scholarship decision at that date and time as well. So January 15th, mark your calendars. But if you miss that early action deadline, it's going to be really, really tough to get an admissions decision that's positive. We have 70,000 applications to Purdue last year, and a vast majority of them are coming in by the November 1 deadline. So hit that. It's really corny, but apply by Halloween or things will get scary.
We like corny. Fernando, how about you?
For applying to us, the best way of doing that is to apply Texas. Now, if you have any specific questions, my email address is Jaramillo, JARAMILLO @UTA.edu. And as AJ said, the sooner the better, because it's not that we're not going to process your application when you are late, but sometimes you miss opportunities for scholarships or financial aid, which have more tighter deadlines. Okay? Again, the sooner the better. And Halloween, as AJ said, is reasonable for starting to submit your applications.
Very good, thank you. And Chanel, last word for you.
Absolutely. My name is Chanel White. My email is chanel.white@miamiuh.edu. I would love to talk with anyone who is joining us today and has any questions. In addition, I hope that you'll find the opportunity to come to campus this fall or this spring. We do have tours of the Farmer School of Business as well as Miami's campus. And you get to do that with the Farmer School of Business ambassador in addition to talking to a faculty member during your visit here. So it's a great way to get to learn more about campus. Do apply by November 1st, because not only will you find out by December 15th for early action, you'll also get the application fee waiver for applications that are in by November 1. So Common App, select any business major, and I'd love to talk with you.
That's great. Well, thank you each and every one of you for your time and great information. And thanks to everybody who tuned in. Again, I'm Christy Blyzeffer, and we have other great undergrad panels coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And we have lots of other great advice for undergraduate business education at poetsandquantsforundergrads.com. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening.